You know, it's been around for a while. Actually, you know, in the States, probably this kettlebell training's been around since like 2000, 2001. I had an opportunity to train with it. A Russian guy actually learned it back then. We were the first federal agency to actually use this in our recruit training. And this is what we found. And it's like, and a lot of people are very familiar with like CrossFit and stuff like that today. I'm like the Kettlebell SME, whatever, for CrossFit. I teach coaches courses just about every weekend. Even within the CrossFit world, the kettlebell is probably the most misunderstood, underutilized tool that they have in their toolbox. There's also sport of kettlebell lifting. And here's the thing, guys, for the broken guys, you know what I mean, and the older guys. You know, I'm 47, you know, I've pretty much broke myself many times since I was young and stuff. Had like two surgeries on this right shoulder, dislocated shoulder, without exaggeration, easy 30 times. Dislocated this one 3 or 4 times, had surgery on that. And this is taken out of knee twice, blew up my ACL, had that reconstructed, a few broken bones here and there. So here's the deal, right? It's like even at that, now I'm 47 and I'm actually competing in kettlebell sport, and I broke like 3 North American records. Dude, I'm like crushing the younger guys. It's not because I'm Super Jeff, it's because I got good technique. And that's the point when it comes to like kettlebell training, guys, is that if you have good technique for basic operator injuries, like dude, everybody has some type of shoulder issue. Everybody's got some sort of lower back issue, you know, knees, whatever. It just is what it is. And for a rehab, you know, a rehab type tool, there's none better if you do it correctly. And that's the rub. If you have good technique, it'll allow you to use your strength more effectively, and then it'll rehab you. You know, and so I'll just kind of just show some things you could do with it. And the other thing too is like it's phenomenal in an austere training environment. You know, no matter where you are, dude, if you have a kettlebell or something you can swing, you know, a set of rings or a pull-up bar, you get a lot of mileage off it. Throw a heavy bag in the mix, even better. You know, so that's it. So people are like, oh, what can you do with it? Well, guys, this is where it really shines too, is as far as an endurance tool. A lot of people look at that because people ask all the time, like, Jeff, what do you do for cardio? It's like, dude, I try to avoid running like the plague, flat out, you know? It's like, man, I bust myself up enough. Like, if I could sprint, yeah, I can. You know, I could run if I have to, but I try to avoid it, you know? And, what's that?
Short spurts.
Oh, yeah, short spurts. And, dude, and that's the thing, man. It's just not as fun as it was when you're in your 20s, you know what I mean? And,
Well, when you're in your 40s.
Yeah, when you're in your 40s, dude, it's horrible. It's horrible. So, you know, as far as like when you look at body mechanics, right? If you break down, you know, proper mechanics of a deadlift, and right now the guys with the, you know, any type of lower back issues hitting the panic button, you're like, dude, freaking deadlift. You know, also, you know, that's how I jacked up my back. And honestly, yeah, a lot of guys hurt their back deadlifting. You know what I mean? And a lot of it, just poor technique. You know what I mean? And, you know, flat out. You know, I train guys with broken backs all the time. This is, and dude, they're phenomenal. They're getting super strong. So if you got the good mechanics of a deadlift, you could swing, right? And a lot of people when they're first looking at a swing, like this is like the most basic one. This is, dude, it's my hips that are launching the weight. It has nothing to do with like my arms or anything like that. You know, but when you do that for time, like anaerobically, your heart rate gets moving and builds that whole posterior chain. You know, and the same thing too, like as far as like burning fat, and you know, as you get older and stuff like that, it gets harder. But you can really keep your workouts minimal, like minimal time. You don't have to go running for an hour. I'm talking like 15, 20 minutes, done. You know, but then you got phenomenal cardio and fat burning stuff. So if you can swing it, right, then, you know, then you get fancy. You can take your hands off it and stuff. And I'll show some other stuff later. You can do like one arm swing, same thing, it's working your back a little bit different. You know, and you can swing for reps, you can swing for time, right? In the sport of kettlebell lifting, literally, like snatch, taking a weight overhead. It's like it's a 10-minute event. You're doing 5 minutes basically, you know, swinging it like this here overhead. Then you switch hands once, and you do another 5. The sport kettlebell lifting is classified as a cyclical sport. So cardiovascular is the same as like long distance running, cross-country skiing, rowing, cycling. Except that again, it builds really great grip strength. And for operators, for police officers, dude, everybody needs good grip strength. And everybody needs all the go muscles. You pick dudes up or crush dudes, put them down. So that's it. So you got your snatches, you got your swings. For shoulder rehab, you know, you got different things you can do, you know, arm bar stretches, Turkish get-ups, phenomenal for rehab. Like right now, like this right shoulder, orthopedic surgeon course, and I asked him like about the surgery that was done back in the late 80s, and he's like, hey Jeff, check this out. Because, you know, every once in a while, not recently, like, it's probably been 10 years since I dislocated the shoulder. He's like, there's nothing anatomically anchoring the shoulder in place. So, like, it used to come out in my sleep, you know, it was over my head, boom, you roll over, dislocate. Talk about a rude awakening, you know what I mean? It sucks. So, but here's the deal. From training correctly, it's like, my shoulder hasn't dislocated, you know, I'm doing really well. I could do, like, weighted pull-up, about 106 pounds. Or around, you know, wrapped around my waist, which is the polar opposite than dislocating shoulder in your sleep. You know what I'm saying? So it's really good that way. For more combative stuff, you can work a lot of the rotational strength aspect. And guys, some of the stuff I want to show you now, kind of, you know, looks like a circus trick, but it's really not. It's builds really good hand-eye coordination. I teach a lot of people this all the time. And you can start really simple. Like anything, you know, anything you can warm up, and you just say, man, it's always good mechanics, you know, always good mechanics, you know. Then it's like, then you can start when you're swinging and stuff, right? When you're here, right? You can release it, kind of, you know, whatever. Then you can do like tapping drills. You can tap it, whatever. And you can flip it, either way, like up spins, whatever. You know what I mean? So same thing here. You work like uppercut drills, stuff like that. You go uppercut drills. You want to work your grip a little bit, bam, you know. So you know, you play around with it. So then you work more tapping drills or whatever, you know. You want to get, you know, whatever. You want to get fancy, bam, you do stuff like that, you know. But there's actually a sport, kettlebell juggling, that they do over in Russia, but flat out, you're never gonna see me in a costume juggling. It's a little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. But man, it's just, if you guys haven't tried it, now I'll say this, I'll just kind of, there's a lot of people, you know, it seems like now they're getting popular. A lot of people, oh yeah, we do kettlebells, this and that, but man, it's kind of like CrossFit gyms. You know, there are some phenomenal CrossFit gyms, guys that are like taking time to do things right. But because it's getting popular, there's also people running them now that maybe don't have the depth and the breadth when it comes to teaching functional movement, whatever, and you see an increase in into it. Same thing with kettlebell. There's people that do it correctly. Then there's a bunch of knuckleheads out there just like, yeah, just do this. Got no technique. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to functional lifts, dude, they're designed. They'll keep you in the game. They'll rehab any injuries, and you'll be stronger. Like me at 47 now could literally crush the Jeff at 27. You know, and it's just because I'm training smarter. You know, I'm not trying to be a knucklehead like I used to be.